Hi, I'm Pete, and this is a tutorial for the Tuttminx. Now, the Tuttminx is a puzzle that was designed by Lee Tutt, and this mass-produced version of it was produced by Very Puzzle a couple of years ago. This has curvy cuts, and the main feature of the Tuttminx is that it is a truncated icosahedron. It has 32 faces. Now, truncated icosahedron is what you get when you take an icosahedron, which is a 20-sided figure, and you cut off all the vertices. And so you're left with this wonderful mix of 6-sided faces and 5-sided faces, so hexagons and pentagons. This feature makes it look really cool. It also makes it a little harder to solve than, say, a Megaminx, because we can't use some of our Megaminx algorithms due to the fact that the two faces are different. So, but it's actually not a very hard puzzle to solve. It takes a little bit of time, and there's some things you need to know, but that's what we'll be talking about in this tutorial. Now, before we get started, I'll just tell you a little bit about the difference between the two puzzles. And this puzzle, the original, is they both have an interesting characteristic in that you really can't, you shouldn't on the puzzle mix a pentagon edge with a hexagon edge. Now, in the original puzzle, depending on how you had the screws set, you might actually be able to do that. And as you see here, I was able to get this to happen, but because of the tensions on my screws, nothing else is going to turn. But if the screws were a little lighter, looser, then this wrong edge could end up in the wrong place, and eventually the puzzle becomes very stiff and pretty well unsolvable. So in order to prevent that from happening, the new classical Tuttminx, which has the flat faces and straight cuts, and it's a little closer to the original Lee Tutt design, just a little smaller, but this version of the puzzle actually physically prevents that wrong move from happening. So mixing up the pentagonal sides with the hexagonal sides isn't allowed to happen. In any case, as you see, I have stickers on this, both of them, that have checkers on the pentagonal faces, and that's just a visual indication that checkers have to go with checkers, and smooth has to go with smooth or plain. And so that makes it visually quite easy to keep track of what turns you're making. Okay. So now I will tell you a little bit about what you need to know to solve this puzzle. I think some experience solving a Megaminx is quite useful. The technique is a little different, but the overall strategy is identical, and I do use a couple of Megaminx algorithms at the very end. So knowing how to solve a Megaminx will be quite helpful, and knowing a little bit about the F2L or the piece assembly method for solving a 3x3 or other type of cube would be very helpful, because that's how we're going to get around the fact that we can't just insert corners and edges separately on this puzzle. We actually have to insert them as a unit. So we have to assemble them on a face and then put them in. So I will go through all of that, but it would be helpful if you knew how to do that. So just before we get started here, let me talk a little bit about stickering. As I said, these are third-party stickers. I got these from Oliver's. I did have factory stickers on here. As a matter of fact, I went through 2 sets of factory stickers before I finally got these. You handle this puzzle quite a bit, you play with it quite a bit, and so the stickers do take a bit of a beating. Your colors are almost certainly going to be different from mine because these aren't salt stickered. So don't worry about it, as long as you just follow my tutorial. I think you'll be fine. I'm going to ask you to identify sort of a top and a bottom pentagon, and then we'll just go from there. Now, this puzzle is solved by starting with a pentagon and ending with a pentagon. Even though I display mine with hexagons on top, it's actually the solving technique is to start and finish with a pentagon. That's the the easiest way I've found to solve it. If you're thinking of getting one of these and you're thinking of getting some stickers, or you're looking at the 42 sticker colors that they give you at Very Puzzle, which are, you know, perfectly adequate, keep in mind that the hexagons, many of the hexagons share a common piece, an edge piece there, and when you're stickering it, you want to make sure that the colors are a good high contrast. Some of the blues that the factory stickers have they look a little different when they're on the backing sheet. When you put them on the puzzle, the shades of blue are almost impossible to tell, and so you'll end up with a situation where you have two blues, and that edge is very easy to flip around. And what'll happen if you flip an edge around and you have two similar colors, you'll end up with an unsolvable state at the end. So just keep that in mind as you're learning to solve this great puzzle. All right, well, let's get started. So I'm going to show the solution on the classical Tuttminx. There's no real good reason for it. I like this one, and but everything I show you will be perfectly applicable to the original Tuttminx. So the first thing you need to do is pick out a top pentagon and a bottom pentagon, and that will be what I refer to as the top and the bottom, and that is where you're going to start on the bottom pentagon, and you're going to finish the solve on the top pentagon. Okay, so once you do that, then go ahead and scramble, and you know, don't be afraid to scramble up your Tuttminx. It looks complicated to solve. It does take a little while, but once I show you how to solve it, you'll be glad that you got this puzzle. It's one of my favorite big puzzles. I would say that I like it even better than some of the other minx. Like, I have a Petaminx, and I have a Terraminx, and all of that, and I enjoy solving those. But the Tuttminx really is a lot of fun to solve, and it looks great when it's scrambled. One of my favorite things, if I go somewhere that I can bring this, is to get someone else to scramble it, or other people to take turns scrambling it, and it ends up looking like a rainbow, and it's just so beautiful when it's scrambled even. Okay, well, am I scrambled? Yeah, take your time scrambling, because you know, the quality of your solve is really dependent on the quality of your scramble. If you have all the pieces kind of stuck together, then it's really not going to be nearly as fun as if you get everything scrambled up. Okay, so there we are, nicely scrambled, and time to get started. So, Tuttminx scrambled, ready to be solved. We have to identify the top and the bottom pentagons that we're going to use. This is the baby blue checkered pentagon. It's a little hard to see, it's quite small, but this is the bottom. And so then we're going to be solving towards the top, which is kind of the dark yellow, and that'll be solved. Now, there are 4 steps in solving this. There's the bottom cross, and in the first 5 hexagons, which I consider to be 1 step. Then there's the middle layer, which is a mix of hexagons and pentagons. That's the 2nd step. The 3rd step is the last 5 hexagons, which we do it's very different actually than the rest of it. And then there's the final pentagon, which is very similar to a Megaminx in dealing with that. Okay, so that's what it is. So the first step then, very much like a Megaminx, in that you're just going to put the bottom cross. So this is baby blue, and I'm looking for the baby blue checker on one side and the large triangle on the other side to match the face color. So I see one over here, the baby blue, and at this stage of the solve, I know that that anything that has baby blue on one side is going to be 1 and 1. Now, if you notice here, I'm going to put my thumb here, that's where we're headed. Now, if I just turn this around, it'll be matched up, but it'll be upside down. So instead, I have to turn it sideways, very much like a Megaminx. And then I have the edge, and now the edge is correct. And now I've turned it in. So that's my first arm of my bottom cross. I notice that this one's already lined up. I just have to turn this hexagon face. There you go. Okay. And so now I'm just looking for small triangles with baby blue on them, and I know that they have to go there. There's one that's the green, and I'll just turn that over. Okay. And now I'll look it over. Now the initial stages of the solve, there's one, my gray there, is the hardest part because you have so many pieces, and there's so many different colors. The piece recognition is, for me anyway, a difficult part of the initial solve. But I just use a very strategic method, a very step-by-step method, and that's what gets me through it. And then it actually gets easier and easier as you get more and more of it done. So now I'm looking for the pink and baby blue, and just go around. It takes a little while to get used to looking for pieces on here. Baby blue and pink. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, baby blue and pink. But it does come eventually. You know, once you get used to your color scheme, it's you'll be surprised at how quickly a few solves and you'll be your time will go up. Your solve time will go down dramatically. So now I have my bottom cross, and my strategy now is to fill in these corners. Okay, and here's the issue. The issue is that I can't just put a corner in. Well, I can put a corner in, but then I have no way to put the edge in as well. Because the Megaminx methods don't work. The standard putting it on the top and then rotating it in, it doesn't work for this puzzle. So what I have to do is build the corner, and that's really the heart of my technique. I'm going to build an edge and a corner, and I'm going to do that as I go all the way up. And what I usually do is pick a working face above the face that I'm working on. I pick a hexagon because I find that those are more versatile to work on. Right. So the corner I'm looking for is it has blue, sort of a baby blue, a dark green, and a white. That was a mistake. I got my pentagons mixed up. I should be looking for the green, blue, and baby blue checkered corner. Instead, I'm off looking for a blue, green, and white checkered corner. Eventually, I'm going to figure it out, and in the meantime, enjoy watching me look for the wrong corner. So let's look for that one. Okay, and this is really the hardest part of the solve, just getting started and looking for those pieces, because just about every piece is out of place. You notice I keep my thumb on one side just to help myself keep track of where the bottom is. Okay, so there's my there is my corner for that. So I'm bringing it up to the hexagon. This is the blue, baby blue, and green, and so I'm going to pick that hexagon. Now, if you'd feel more comfortable working way up above the place where you're solving, feel free to do that. That way, if you make a mistake, you won't trash your work. I'm just going to work right above it. So now what I have to do here, actually that looks right, but it's actually the wrong one because I need a baby blue checker. So I'm going to go and look for that. Okay, so there it is right there, and I've lost track of the bottom now. So let's see here. There it is. Oh, okay, so it wasn't all that far away. Okay, so there's my my piece. Now I can't use this hexagon because turning it would affect my bottom cross. So I'm going to use this hexagon right above it, and that'll be my working area for these next couple of pieces. So now what I need to do is I need to find the edge that goes. So I need a green, a baby blue, and a dark green edge, and it's two large triangles. That's what I'm looking for. So now, so there's the edge that I'm looking for. Now I'm going to show you this technique, and I'm going to repeat this over and over again, and eventually it will become old hat. But basically, if you notice, this is green on top and blue here, and this edge is green on top and blue there, which means this edge has to go over here, right? So if I could somehow get this out of the way and then move this edge into that position, then I could join them, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So this is my working area. I'm not going to hurt anything by turning this. So I'm going to turn this face down, this hexagon, this pentagon down, and I've hidden the corner, and now I'm going to move this piece over here. Okay, and now when I turn it up, I've assembled this edge and corner, and now I'm ready to put that edge and corner in here, right? Now the issue is that if I turn this up and I try to put it in, it'll be backwards. Okay, so that doesn't work. So instead, what I need to do then is somehow get it along this edge. Well, if I turn this up, that won't work because I can't turn a hexagonal edge in. So how am I going to do this, right? Well, this is sometimes one of the things that we kind of have to work out here on the Tuttminx. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this edge and I'm going to turn it all the way around. And so now it's, now it's along here. And I'm going to take this edge and turn it down. So now the edge that I'm putting in is right here, and where I want it to go is here. And now I can turn this piece, and you'll see that they line up. Okay, and I didn't hurt anything because this is above my working area, because I'm working here and I'm going to sort of spiral my way up. So this technique always works, and you're never going to hurt the area that you're working on. So there you go. I put in my first corner and edge. Okay, and all I have to do is go around and do the rest of them. Now, one of the things I did there was I looked for a specific color, a specific corner. Normally what I do is I look around and just find ones that I recognize and put them in as I see them, rather than going off looking for a specific color. But I just did that one for the sake of illustration. And I can do another one as well. So it just takes a little longer to find sometimes. So this next one then would be the green and pink. And you see this corner here actually goes over here because it has pink and gray on it, which is the sort of thing I'm talking about, right? If I find one that's already there, but we'll work on that one later. Right now I'm just going to look for the pink and green corner that goes there. So I'm looking for baby blue with pink checkers with pink on it. And there it is right there. Okay, so this is my working area. So it's perfectly safe to kind of bring the piece over here to the hexagon right above where I'm working. And I can work here, or I could either work here or I could work over here. No problem. So baby blue and pink. And now the edge piece is dark green and pink. So the edge piece is going to be dark green and pink right here, and let's look around for that. Two large triangles. Well, that looks good. Now sometimes you'll move a piece into place, and when you actually get it beside the perspective piece, then you'll see that it's the wrong shade. Perfectly normal, and it happens all the time. Well, let's use my technique that I showed you before. What I want to do is I want to join this edge piece with this corner here. So you see, if I could somehow get this edge piece right here, then it would be correct. So I'm not going to hurt my working area by turning this down. So I've hidden the corner here, and now I'm going to turn this hexagon until the edge is lined up, and then I'll put the corner back, and now I join those two, right? So that's not really an algorithm, it's just a technique, a strategy. So now I have to turn this over here, and now I want to get this edge and corner in that slot. Well, you see, if I just turn this face up, that it will work. Now you notice I'm turning the hexagons twice because they only move in steps of two. They don't move in steps of one, which is why we can't use our Megaminx strategies on them. At least not directly. So, okay, so now I have the edge and corner that I assembled inserted, and now I have my bottom pentagon is starting to shape up here. So my next one will be the pink and the gray, and I do remember seeing one over here, and it shouldn't have gone very far. There it is right there. Okay, the pink and the gray, and look at that. I noticed that the pink and gray edge is right there. So let's use that as our working area. So I have to get this edge up top here. Now, if I just move this around, it's going to rotate my edge. So I'm just going to move the, my corner. So I'm just going to move the corner out of the way. And now I'll move the edge up. And let's take a look here. Okay, so now I have an issue in that the this has gray on the bottom and pink on top, but this is the opposite. So there's no easy way to join those. I'll either have to make this go upside down or this one go upside, turn around. And it's actually easier to turn this one around, and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, if I turn it that way, I made it go upside down, and just coincidentally, I've joined them. Okay, now sometimes that doesn't happen, and you have to rotate it. You have to do a little more wrangling, but I'll take that one any day. Okay, so now I have an assembled corner and edge, and it goes right here. So I somehow have to get it to match up with that one, or this one right here. Okay, well, this piece here, I can actually bring this edge up to be on this pentagon, hexagon, sorry. And if I turn it in, oops, it's backwards. Okay, well, that didn't work out. So how are we going to do this? Well, the way to do it is to somehow put it on this edge. And we're going to have to use the same technique I used before, which is I'm going to take the slot and I'm going to do a double turn. So now the slot that I'm looking for is right here. And now I can turn this onto another hexagon edge, and then I can turn it down, and I turn it all the way back. Okay, so a few setup moves, but the nice thing about it is that you don't have to worry about what you did up here. You don't have to put anything back because you're starting at the bottom and you're kind of working your way up. And the way my technique works is that you always are working above on the hexagon, above the completed area, so you're never going to damage the completed area. If you find you're doing that, then what it means is that you're not keeping track of the bottom. You have to be working above. You just have to be sure that you are working above, and that you haven't sort of veered off to the side into some area that's already completed. Okay. Well, we're getting there. Let's so I need a gray and a purple, which has a baby blue side to it. So there's a blue and purple. Nope, that's not it. Blue and purple. Nope. Okay, there's the gray and purple. And again, even though it sort of looks like we're close to the working area, this isn't. And I'm just going to go ahead and turn this up, and now it's up here where we've been working before, above the working area. Okay, and so, and now I need a gray and a purple to go in there. Now this is an area where there are a lot of grays and purples, a lot of different shades on this puzzle, and so it's sometimes you do find one and you bring it over and it's not quite right. So don't worry about that. That happens. I do that all the time. So it's just part of the fun of this puzzle, really, and you do get better at recognizing the shades after a while. Okay, so I'm just going to look around for that gray and purple, two triangles, and of course it's I'm sure everyone out there has already seen it twice. as I'm going around. It's always easy to sit there and see it when you're spectating. So yeah, let's see. There's the gray and purple. Okay, so I just want to make sure I know where I am here. There's the gray and purple. There's the one I was on the same. No, gray and purple. Yeah, there it is. And where is my? Let's see, gray and purple. Okay, and there's the piece I'm looking for here. So you got to bring them both together, and just got to be careful. Okay. So now let's take a look at this. So what we have here, this has purple on the top and gray on the bottom. And the problem is that, oops, this is the one I'm looking for. Actually, it's correct. So really, if I was to hide this out of the way and then bring this piece up, oh, look at that, it joins up. Gee, I'm getting really lucky today. I haven't had to turn any over yet. Okay, so now I'm ready to put that piece in here. And remember, I can't turn this slot up into the pentagon. If this was a Megaminx now, we could just turn it up into the pentagon. But you see, this doesn't work. We won't be able to turn it. And so that's why we can't use the pentagons to transfer edges. So instead, I have to do it on a hexagonal edge. Well, I think this one's oriented properly. We have the gray here and we have the gray here. Let me try this. I'm going to do a double turn on the pentagon, on the hexagon, sorry, and that's the slot I'm trying to get. So let's see if I can do this. Is it going to work? No. If I turn it down, it'll be upside down, so I'm not even going to try. All right, well, how do you do it? Well, the way you do it is I'll have to do it on the purple. So 1, 2, and now I'm just going to turn this 1, 2, in, and now they're joined up, and I'm going to bring it back. And again, I don't have to worry about putting all those back. Well, last one, purple and sort of a mid blue, and again we're looking for the baby blue on the bottom, sorry, on one of the sides. So baby blue, so the last baby blue checkered face, and there it is. And so it has to be right because it's the last one. Okay, so I'm going to bring this, let's see here, I'm going to bring it right above where I'm working, and over here is good because I'm not going to hurt anything. So there it is. And now I need a sort of a purple and a kind of a mid blue edge for the two pentagons, the two hexagons. Sorry about that. So we'll just look for it. I really find this to be a relaxing puzzle, and it's just fun to just sit there and try and solve it. Okay, so I have my my edge here, and I have my corner on the same face, and as I see, the purple is on the top. Well, here the purple's on the bottom. So I'm going to have to switch one of them around. It's easier to turn the corner around. So if I turn this pentagon, you'll notice that it flips the corner for me, right? And you can actually do that twice. If you needed to do it again, I would just I'd move this back. Yeah, well, I can move it forward, sorry, to the next pentagon, and maybe flip it again. Anyway, so now this is correct. I'm going to hide it out of the way. So now it's down here. I'm going to bring my edge into place, and there you go. So those are joined. And now I need to get it over here. So what can I do? Well, let's use the same technique I used before. It'll go over here. And pretty soon as you do this, you'll start to recognize how to join these. There's no shortcut to this. The shortcut is to scramble up your Tuttminx and start solving it. And at first, joining the pieces will be kind of confusing, but just watch my videos and try and follow along, and eventually you'll get really good at this. So there's the bottom pentagon, and we've done the first 5 hexagons. Now that's phase 1 of the solve, and the reason is that now the technique changes just a bit. We'll still be doing the same strategies, but now we have to have a look at what we're going to do for the next layer. So for the next layer, we have pentagons and we have hexagons, and it alternates. Pentagon, hexagon, pentagon, hexagon. So that's the layer that we're going to do next. And we're going to do basically both layers. We're going to do the bottom layer, and then we're going to do about half of the top layer. So that's the middle part of the solve.